and welcome to Pause with Noku, another episode. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. So today we have an amazing guest, someone that I admire. Oh my goodness, you better stay tuned and pause with Noku. Hey sis,
Milka.
how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I am good,
Yeah.
thank you. So please, before we get there, I just want to warm welcome you and thank you for taking time and pause with Nogo. This is a place where we pause, reflect, and have thought-provoking and relaxed conversations where we learn from one another and get to know our guests and what you guys are up to. So please feel free to introduce yourself.
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me, Milka. This is really such an honor, and I'm really pleased to be here. And yes, so my name is Amber Walsh, and I am an illustrator. I've always been an artist. I've been drawing ever since I can recall, but I started my journey with illustration in the year 2020.
Yeah.
And my main focus is illustrating children's books. But yeah, I've illustrated well over about 25 children's books in the span of a good 5 years since 2020, and it's been a wonderful journey for me of learning and growing into it, interacting with clients,
Yeah.
and here I am today.
2020, just in the middle of COVID-19.
Yeah,
What was happening when you started? Take us back.
sure.
Because 2020, 2021, those were difficult years
Those were definitely
worldwide. So you started this.
Yes.
Okay.
So well, to be honest, actually, it was a very interesting start to me getting into the world of illustration.
All right.
Before I was taking commissions, I was kind of receiving commissions over social media. I worked with a lot of customers or clients through Instagram at the time, because I had an Instagram page, and I was taking regular commissions, and one day, it was sort of the end of 2019, I had received a a, a message from someone in KwaZulu Natal who wanted me to do illustrations for a book, a children's book. And in the beginning, I was very much kind of nervous. I actually didn't want to take it because I didn't think I was capable of drawing so many pictures in one go. But with a bit of encouragement and counsel, I decided I'm going to just go for it and seize the opportunity and learn. And after that, it was kind of a slow and gradual but knock-on effect of I produced that, and then someone else heard about it. They needed illustrations, and then it kind of developed from there. One person referring to another, and then eventually,
So you started in 2019?
Yeah,
basically.
End of 2019.
End of 2019.
So I've
How old were you in 2019?
I was 15.
My goodness. So since you were young, so that's what you used to do. Like, what is illustration? Just in a basic, how do
Illustration is, if I can put it in the most simplest form,
please.
when you pick up a book, when you pick up a children's book and you page through it, it's everything that has to do with the visual aspect, the pictures, the imagery, and it's the way that the artist illustrates what the author is writing about, bringing it to life.
Okay. So let's go back. I was just carried away and I didn't get to do our tradition, your name, Amber, because I want to know, do you know the meaning and the significance of your name?
Yes. So my name is a color, but my name is also a jewel. But the meaning or significance of my name is display of the glory of God. So yes.
Really? Is that English or what?
So it's kind of briefly mentioned in the Bible to use to describe kind of the color of the fire, that was regularly spoken of in the Bible in Hebrew. And so that is the meaning of my name.
And do you think you live it out, your name?
You know what? I aspire to live it out.
Okay.
And Yes, I mean, that's my ultimate goal, I think, personally, is to display the glory of God.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Because I have this
awesome.
thing that I'm still learning now. I'm very much curious and interested in people's names and history behind that.
Yes,
And I've
etymology.
noticed that there is, the
Mm.
history is clear that our parents named
Mm.
us intentionally. It's
Definitely.
either your name is a prayer, or it's
Mm.
prophetic, or it's a wish, or it's circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just purpose behind names. And most people, by the way, they don't know that.
Yes.
And it's amazing to discover that. So, Amber, where is home?
Where's home? Okay, so I'm from Gauteng,
Mm-hmm.
from an area called uh, Krugersdorp, Roodepoort, Ramshoek, and I've grown up there.
Mm.
And yes, it's how can I say, I've grown up around a lot of um, yeah, a variety of individuals,
Mm.
Afrikaans culture, English,
Okay.
um, a lot of isiZulu, different
Mm.
languages, etc. And yes, that's
Okay.
very much
Okay.
home.
And then you passed your matric, and then what happened after matric?
Yes, after matric, I originally I was very wary of what do I want to do. I didn't really want to study immediately,
Oh no.
which is yeah, but
Why? If I
it's
may ask.
you know what, I always thought I had this idea about studying, and I wasn't sure that I would how can I say it, it would really unlock the ideas and the potential that I had, and my passion for what I do, which at the time was illustration and still is.
Mm.
And I've realized that that is actually not the case at all. If
Mm.
anything, studying and doing illustration has kind of forced me to increase my capacity to grow
Hmm.
in that way, and also allowed me to make a lot more connections.
Mm.
Um, but no, there were multiple things I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take short courses. I wanted to kind of mold the illustration into something else.
Mm.
And then, the Lord just said, varsity is your next step. And I'm very glad I listened.
This is strange for a
Mm.
child, because you are still a child. I mean, not to think, because it seems to me that
Mm.
it's obvious that after matric it's the next thing, which is varsity or
Mm.
college, but education. But for you, it was not the case.
You know what? I wasn't kind of sold by it. In the beginning, I
Really?
wasn't sold by it. My sort of ideas around varsity is that you don't need it in order to succeed, and that for me, and that's just something that I think I personally, no one had ever really given me that idea,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just something of like, you don't necessarily need varsity to succeed, and to do what you love.
Mm.
But I think that I saw the potential of growth that could come from it, of discipline that could come from it. And I think I desired that sort of experience, that experience of coming out of myself, of,
Mm.
growing in the area of understanding, meeting people, and experiencing more people around me, different
Mm.
people as well, is what I wanted to grow in.
So you thought doing your art was enough, so there was just no need for education.
Sure, I don't even think it was that. I think my mentality was I'm very
This
young.
is interesting.
Yes.
This is interesting. I
It's
want to hear
interesting
all
for
of
me to
it.
also think about it, but no, I mean, sure, it's these past few years, so much has happened since then.
Mm.
But no, for me, it was sort of a mentality of how can I sort of um I hmm
The thing is, I can hear that, but I don't hear it at the same time. I still want to hear it from you.
yes.
And there is something, you are going somewhere with this, and I want to hear all of it from you.
Yes, so for me it was sort of, I'm young,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time I was like, I'm young, I've got a long life. Why now put 3 years of studying when
Mm-hmm.
I can start building business? Because I was very much in the mindset of, I wanna build, I wanna create something,
Mm-hmm.
I want to start reaching for my goals and for the
Mm.
dreams. Um,
And you felt like education was going to delay you somehow.
Yes, that's exactly. If I can put it that way, I was like, education's going to delay that,
Mm.
which is, I mean, I don't know what to think of that now, but I think that, yeah, I kind of saw myself as, let me use this time, let me capitalize off of it to really, build something and experiment and, get experience in starting new things. And funny enough, I've still been able to dabble in learning new things and in experiencing new things in varsity and in studies. But nonetheless, it was very much, I was in that space of, I don't really need academics at this point. Let me just go, let me just, learn and take the risks.
And your parents, were they aware of that, those thoughts?
Oh yes.
And they were okay that
So
you don't want to pursue academics. They were okay.
you know what? They've always been extremely supportive of me. That I
Oh,
can say. I have just amazing parents, and they're very supportive. But they kind of, I also didn't have the full picture of what university was. And I think a lot of people, students who are coming from high school, matriculants, don't have the full picture of what university is.
talk about that.
They are given, ideas, and the teachers give them ideas, and ideas from people around them in family or friends or connections. But it's not necessarily the full picture. And once you're actually in varsity, you realize, oh wow, this is actually still a big wide world. There's actually still still so much that I haven't even.
Give us that picture now that you're in varsity, things that really shocked you and where you got to that realization that actually this, when you were there, it was not the full picture of what you had in mind.
I didn't have that. That's a good question. That's a good thing, Noku, because I didn't have much of a picture. I did online schooling in high school, so
Okay.
I had a lot of time to do art and to do illustration. Because I was mainly working by myself in my own setup at home. And so when I came to university, it was very much felt like this big, large place with so many people. I had lots of room to explore. And at the same time, I almost got so caught up with that aspect that I was like, what is academics? Because I was so caught up with, meeting all of these new people, experiencing all of these different mindsets, ways of thinking, culture. And I think it really broke me out of, the how can I say, the restrictive thinking that I had about it. Thinking that you know having certain ideas about things and then coming to university and realizing that, wow, a lot of paradigms have been shifted in ways of thinking, in ways that you understand people, the way you work with people and communicate with them, and how, and adapting to an environment that's completely different.
So coming from this online schooling and then you're in varsity now, was not overwhelming for you? How was it? Dealing with all these hundreds of people.
No.
How was it? Like your first semester?
Oh gosh, you're taking me back.
Please, let's go back because I can imagine from homeschooling, it's just your computers, your parents, you are not used to these
Yes.
crowds.
Sure.
And now you find yourself in these thousands, over 20,000 Stellenbosch University students. How was it?
You know what? I thought that it would be more difficult.
Yeah.
But I think when I arrived and when it came to Stellenbosch, I think there was a lot of excitement and expectation. And back then, my mindset once again was very much actually directed towards I wasn't like, okay, I've got to come now and I'm going to force myself to make friends. I was like, all I want to do in this first semester and in this season is actually just, experience, be exposed, and just kind of enjoy getting used to this environment and be open to learning. And so I came here and I was very much in my element. And
I
I
can
think that
imagine.
surprised me as much as it even surprised my parents, is that I took inspiration from all around me, and I found myself kind of immersing in yeah, just the environment in the university campus, in all of these new visual, because as an artist as well, I mean, I'm very visually sensitive. So for me, it was like exploring the town, kind of getting rooted and grounded. And yes, it did come with a little bit of academic pressure
Yeah.
as well, because I was completely sure it's a whole different game, ball game, shall I say. But nonetheless,
And
it
we
was
are
very
here,
much
and this year is your final year. What are you
go
studying, by the way?
Yes, yeah, no, I'm studying language and culture, and I have I'm majoring in French and linguistics. And actually, in linguistics, a lot of what we do is social linguistics, which is
What's that?
it's linguistics in the context of society and culture and people, and linguistics is the prescribed and the underlying structures of language, but it's also language of every day. It's how we speak, it's how we communicate, cross culturally, and in a world where no one really communicates the same.
What is the most interesting part about your studies?
Sure. What is the most interesting part? That's
The
a
part that
difficult
you
question.
enjoy the most,
Oof, I
that
really
brings creativity up.
I really enjoy what I study in every way. I think for me, what has always fascinated me is um, words and the power of language.
Oh.
And I found that language is such a useful tool. And, language is understood differently by different people. Some people are, it's not that important. You kind of, say what you say, talk how you talk. But language is it's a tool that can really shape our reality. And that, for me, I've realized a lot through my degree, is how much weightiness comes with, how can I say it? Harnessing language, writing, understanding it, learning the rules so that you can also break them.
Oh, wow. So is that connected to what you've been doing?
Yes, well, involving my studies, definitely. And I found as well in illustrating and writing, and I'm very interested in publishing and that sort of thing, how, even seeing what authors write, and the way that um, the way that I illustrate, obviously illustrating and words go hand in hand. So when you are illustrating something, you're really having to look at words in a different light. And you're having to sort of find, for instance,
please give us an example.
Yes, sure. Let me try and give an example. When you're looking at words, you're not just sort of reading them, but you're almost, especially in children's book illustration, you're kind of taking the seat of a child, and you're looking at the words through a lens of how would a child experience this particular situation or moment. How can you sort of imagine or put this situation into a context that a child with their level of language understanding and thinking will grasp it. And so it's looking at it in a very different light, very differently to how adults look at it. A lot of the times adults forget that children have a very, very different way of imagining and thinking, and such a saturated imagination.
So where is your love for kids from? Because I can see your
Sure.
work is around children, children's
Yes.
book, children's this.
Goodness.
What your love for children? Where is it from?
I think it's.
Do you have siblings?
I do have a younger brother.
Okay.
And he's 4 years younger than me.
All right.
And no, he's wonderful. He's very different to me. I would say that my love for children, I don't know where it comes from. I think it's very deep set. But throughout high school, I think actually since I was about 12, I'd always been involved in youth church. That was something that I was always involved in with young toddlers. And they would always come to me and ask me to draw them pictures. And it just used to make me beam with happiness to be able to do that. And realizing that children are so important because they are obviously the next generation. But it's important to note that they have as much to offer, in terms of their minds are so, how can I say, full of full of imagination, full of inspiration and fresh ideas. And I find that oftentimes when I'm with younger children, especially with illustration, I learn a lot from the way that they think. Because you'll have an idea and you'll express it to the child, and the child will go, "Oh, how about you add this? How about you add that?" When you read that to me, this is what I visualized. And so they have a very unique perspective of the world, and I think I really love that.
Oh, wow. So where do you see yourself with your qualification in the end? What is it that you want to do? How do you want to plan to use it?
So I think that for me, a qualification, it's not like sort of the determiner. I think it's one piece in the puzzle.
Okay.
And for me, I see it as, gaining things along the way. And what I want to do with my qualification, I think I've gained lots of good skills from it and experience. I'd like to also build onto it, learn other things in other areas as well. Yeah, I'm interested in going into also copyright and just various other, I have illustration, I have the language aspects, I understand translation as well in other language. The editing, the proofreading, and I know a little bit of the copyright, the intellectual property, but I'd like to sort of gather all of these things, and because learning is also a lifelong journey, and gather all of these things, and hopefully direct it towards something that can have an impact in the world of writing and books. And
so your life is around language, books,
it very
anything.
much is.
Oh, I can see. I can see that. And then how did you decide, like from high school, that okay, when we were applying, what was your second option? Because I think your career is deep and rare to find young people that they want to pursue that.
Well, it is passion ultimately, and the passion drives me. And when I first come to Boston, I actually I applied for 2 other degrees, HR and in speech language hearing therapy, because I wanted to go into that with children as well. And I felt in the very last second for just spur of the moment, a switch to language and culture, because I wanted to take French. And so I think that there's something useful in also the the other languages I've learned.
What is it that you have learned about culture that you want to share with us on a very basic, average person?
So much. But what I find is that one thing that I've learned, there's so much. I have these conversations all the time with people, because there's just, we have such a colorful, textured, saturated world out there of people with
your choice of words, girl.
Coming from different backgrounds, and how what have I learned about culture? I think I've learned that you think you understand culture until you interact with the individual, and you realize that actually it's so uniquely shaped around their experience, and it's not what you thought it was prescribed to be. And that interaction with individuals gives you a whole different perspective and shifts your paradigms around the experience of culture.
So you'll never truly understand until
you interact.
Yes.
I think that's 100%.
It's not something that you can read.
You can read it, but you can only read so much.
All right.
But it's that.
But when you experience that, it's different.
That real, like we are sitting and talking. It's that real conversational aspect, and I believe conversation is very important. Once again, it's the power of words.
Yeah.
And words bring light and understanding. And
And I don't think you can fully understand the language without understanding the culture.
Exactly, as well.
Because I was talking to some people from outside South Africa about isiXhosa as a language, and telling them that when you see people, you just greet, and it's just being human. You don't know these people, but you greet. You cannot ask me where is the bathroom without greeting me.
first.
So that's our culture.
Yeah.
For some, they can just ask where is whatever without greeting that person.
Yeah.
So language and culture, I think I like and I somehow
100%.
understand
You
them.
almost can't completely separate them.
Yeah.
Even what I've found out with learning language and foreign language is that you haven't fully learned the language unless you've learned the culture as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just kind of parrot fashioning, reading, taking in, but you're not really fully grasping just how rich that culture is because it's developed, along with the language, and the language and develops the culture, and the culture develops the language.
Wow, you are so wise.
No, it's just
You are wise, young woman. And then tell us about your entrepreneurship journey. Do you still remember how and when we met?
And when we met,
Yes,
yeah.
just the two of us. Yes.
Oh my goodness! Listen, time now it feels like a a concept, which it is. But I can remember, was it second year? It was beginning of second year.
Beginning of the second year.
Yes, sure. I just finished first year, and I remember you sent me an email.
Yes.
And we met in.
I sent you email
center.
because.
Yes, because. Sorry, it's real. You sent me an email because you wanted to see me. I was featured on Demarty at the end of first year. You've actually reminded me of that. It's been a while.
It's been.
And sure, it was very interesting. Demarty had approached me and they said, "Listen, we've seen your art and we want to have sort of a section written on you, an article written on you and your entrepreneurial journey in illustration for the magazine." And I was like, sure, this is coming out of nowhere. This is sure. I mean, sure, okay, I'd be happy. And they featured me on there, and I believe you found me to that article, and then you sent me an email and you said, I would love to meet you and I'd love to chat with you and learn more. And you were also you've always been so passionate about people's journeys and the experience in entrepreneurship in the realm of varsity. And I think we really connected well over that.
So do you think, were you surprised that I've started this channel?
You know what, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Because it's definitely about time. Because you are such a conversational person and a person who loves to learn and to let people tell their story. And I think this is just really putting a camera in front of that, because this is all that's been happening behind the scenes.
Yes. And you said something about passion and career, because I was about to ask you if were you exposed one way or another in maybe in a setup where you went for career guidance or career coaching or mentorship. Because when you said passion, you chose this career because of your passion. It's exactly what I'm addressing here. That a career guidance must start with passion.
Yes.
Until people, it's not about thinking and looking and searching for what is available, but it's about what you love. Exactly. What do you think?
Sure. So I didn't go for career guidance. I know many people who do get valuable kind of next steps from that. But yeah, I think for me it was very much as simple as that. It was, this is what I'm passionate in. This is what I'm going to pursue. And of course, it helps to also have people around you that encourage and support that. But it's also, there's always an element to pursuing passion that's kind of risky or a bit like, is this going to work out? But I say if you're truly passionate about something, then you put your time, you put your heart into it. What you put in, you're bound to reap.
Yeah.
And so yes, it was really just me going passionate.
Now let's talk about your entrepreneurship journey.
Yes.
I remember your story that I always laugh when I think about the story. That someone asked you something. Do you still remember that? And then you had no idea what this person is talking about. What was that?
Yes. Oh gosh. No, it's
the business language.
Business language, money language. I mean, I was so young. I was about 14 years old, and I was on Instagram, and I got a DM, a direct message on Instagram, and someone said, "No, I'd love you to draw a picture of me." And they'd use the word when we were chatting. They used the word deposit. I think I remember telling you this,
Yes.
and I went to my parents, 14-year-old me, and I said, "What does deposit mean? I don't know what this means. I need help. I don't know how to,
Yeah.
converse with this individual because I don't even know
You don't know
what
what
they're
the
asking
deposit
for,
is?
and so yeah, I mean, I didn't have a bank account or anything, so I had no knowledge of where to begin with this, and it was very much intimidating. But over time, I started to learn. And I think sometimes when you're thrown in the deep end, that's the best way to learn because
Yeah.
then you're forced to say, okay, I'm going to now have to be hands on and ask the questions.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they told you, are your parents businessmen? Are they running
Sure.
business?
So they were very much in business at a stage when I was much younger.
Okay.
So yeah, but like the first I would say 10 years of my life, very much involved in business, and my mom is a very organized woman, and they both did very well in the business sector. And now they've moved away from business, and although they give business um, counseling and guidance,
Okay.
and they are still involved with people who are in business. That's not what they are
Oh wow.
doing as a.
Oh wow. And then looking forward, what is your vision as a young woman in South Africa? Just in general, what is that one thing that keeps you awake? That you feel like this is what you are called, this is your path, besides academics, business, but at the core of Amber,
Sure.
what is there?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. And it's such a huge question too for me. And what I know is ultimately I want to impact um the I want to impact the individual, but I also want to impact um kind of like an industry in publishing and in books because that's always been something that's been in my heart ever since I was younger. I remember in primary school in grade 6 and 7 talking about how I want to be an author. I want to work with authors in class, and I was so young then, and I think that that's always something that you know um, making the publishing industry also more available for Christian authors.
Okay.
And that's something that also matters to me is getting more books out for children that are written by Christian authors. And yes, so that's a very broad question. And then I really really love my country, and I really do. I want to also be able to provide jobs in publishing in South Africa, and open up that market to more individuals who are young like me and who want to be in that industry. Designers, people who are in editing, writing, working with authors. I'd love to see more of that flourish in South Africa because there's so much talent.
Okay.
So much. I mean, we are so artistic as a people.
Say that again.
So artistic. And there are so many people who have the ability to write and create, but just don't know how to get their work and their creation out there. Making that more accessible. That's something that I'm setting my sights on.
Oh wow.
So we're working
And
towards
you must stay tuned because my next guest after is a publisher.
Oh, exciting.
And I'm sure when she's listening your podcast, your views, this episode is going to be inspired and you'll be inspired by her journey.
Can't wait
I don't know how, but this happened, but you two will have a lot to say. And just in closing, what is it that you want to say to that young person in high school, especially those who are in grade 12, who are about to step into the university life and they have no idea, they are not prepared. There's nothing that prepared them, like you said earlier. What advice would you give them?
You might want to settle for something that will give you security. That's fully understandable. But if you have a passion or something that is a gift that separates you from others, even if it's deep inside, rather pursue what you're passionate at because life is long.
Yeah.
And there are lots of opportunities to do things that you're not going to want to do. but at least be the main thing that you spend most of your time doing. Be something that you're passionate at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I say when you're going into varsity is.
Yeah. So why
Make that
passion? Why
important.
passion is important?
Because it's part of what makes us human. It's what drives us. You know, passion is what keeps us going. It keeps the hope. It keeps the faith. And it keeps the expectation for the future. And a lot of times, people who don't have passion, you find that they're constantly looking for something to be passionate in. Everyone needs something that's a focus, that's a joy, that drives them in life. And some people it's more obvious, other people it's less obvious. And some people are still looking for that. But it is very much part of what makes us human.
Amber, thank you so much. It's
Thank you for having
always
me, Noku.
lovely chatting with you, though somehow we are too busy. But I'm so grateful for this platform because at least we managed to reconnect and see this beautiful face of yours. To our viewers, please don't forget to subscribe and pause, reflect, and enjoy us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Noku.
Bye.
Bye.